All right, welcome. If you're here, you want to get smart, fast, and cut right to the chase. That's our goal.
Exactly. No messing around.
Today we're doing something a bit different. We're digging into lyrics,
Yeah.
specifically the YouTube track Memories by N.U.M.B topic.
Yeah, it's basically a lyrical transcript, so it gives this really personal, almost raw, artistic take on things like memory learning, dealing with adversity.
Right, so our mission, if you will, is to unpack the main ideas in these lyrics, what they're saying about personal growth and the perspective you get from, well, looking back.
And right off the bat, you get hit with that idea of learning from mistakes. Every mistake that I made was a lesson toward the future.
Uh-huh. It's not just acknowledging mistakes, it's actively using them.
Yeah, framing them as lessons, like
Yeah.
data points for what's next, not just regrets.
Totally. But then it gets pretty intense with that line about trust.
Oh, yeah. Only mistake that I made was trust of the dame, and if I didn't learn my lesson, then repeat it ain't no change. I'm insane.
Oof.
Yeah.
That hits hard. That feeling of repeating the same error, like you're stuck.
It really speaks to that frustration, doesn't it? Like, why haven't I learned this yet? Am I going crazy here?
It's one thing to know better, another to do better.
Exactly. And then there's this shift to talking about effort versus reward.
You mean the, while I work every day while I build another's kingdom, they won't build the Hall of Fame part?
Precisely. That feeling of putting in all this work, maybe for someone else's benefit, and feeling totally unrecognized for it.
It's a pretty common feeling, I think, that your grind isn't seen or valued.
Definitely. And from there, the mood gets darker.
Yeah, look at what it's come to, a demon. I finally claim half the world full of rage, the other is full of pain. That's heavy.
It is. It paints a picture of deep internal conflict, maybe seeing that reflected in the world outside, too. A really bleak outlook.
A sense of being overwhelmed by it all.
For sure. And then comes this interesting bit about making a deal.
So I had to make a deal, no more walking away, never sealed with the devil. Ideally, I refrained, no more aiming at myself, let my reflection take the blame.
What do you make of that? It sounds like a coping mechanism, almost.
Maybe. Or like shifting the blame.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of internalizing it, pointing it outwards, even at a reflection. Like, it's not me, it's that.
Sort of an externalization, yeah. A way to maybe lessen the internal burden.
And speaking of burdens, there's that commentary on society and the future.
Right. How's the future in my hands as a kid on a page if the book that was written by the leaders is a fake?
A couple decades later, we're repeating the phrase that the future's in the hands of the kids that we raise.
There's a real sense of skepticism there, isn't there? Like, we hear these platitudes, but are things actually changing, or are we just stuck in a loop?
Yeah, cynicism about the narratives were fed by leaders.
Yeah.
Which kind of ties into the core theme of memory itself.
It does. I come from a time where all the memories made were in the blink of an eye, not in a memory bank.
While the memories fade, I see my enemies the same. It's a Kodak moment when I develop what I framed.
That last bit is crucial. Develop what I framed. It suggests memory isn't just passive recall.
Right, it's like we're actively constructing it, like developing a photo, choosing what to focus on, how to frame it.
We're editors, not just recorders, shaping our perception of the past.
Which makes sense with the next line, too. One side, I'm a hero. The other, I've been a villain.
Totally. It highlights how subjective it all is, how we judge ourselves, how others might see us. It depends on the angle, the frame.
Our internal story can shift.
Absolutely. And then the lyrics get incredibly vulnerable, talking about mental health.
Yeah. Depression is silent, like a killer that's maintained in the shadows of the valley of death. I won't name names, hoping I'm not next.
It's just raw honesty about those silent struggles, the fear. It takes guts to put that out there.
It really does, acknowledging that darkness. But then it ends on this note of defiance, almost.
Yeah, I don't think you get it. I'm known as the independent intellectual menace, so now tell me who's loose change.
It's like saying, yeah, I've been through stuff, I struggle, but I'm still here, I'm smart, I'm independent, don't underestimate me.
Exactly, turning that pain and experience into a kind of defiant strength. Self-awareness forged in the fire.
So really, the whole thing paints memory as this dynamic, active thing.
Right. Not just looking back, but constantly using the past, framing it, learning from it, the good and the bad, to figure out the present.
So the takeaway for everyone listening, maybe think about your own memory bank. How are you framing your past?
Yeah, how do those memories, those developed frames, influence how you act now, how you see the future?
Are you consciously choosing how you develop those old snapshots? Something to chew on.